I teach 11th and 12th graders. This year, for the first year, I had to have a conversation with my students, and I say had to. It went over like a load of bricks. Gonna be honest, they hated it. Talk about worst teacher introduction ever. My first day of school, I talked to them about ownership in their education because I really felt driven to. Let me explain why. For the last several years, I have seen a decline in kids' vocabulary, kids' ability to problem solve, kids' ability to use a calculator that problem solves for them. They literally will come to me and say, this calculator doesn't make a fraction, as if they don't know what the line between the top of the fraction and the bottom of the fraction means. They should. It's a math-based class. They should not be in there without knowing what that line means and how to get around it. And yet, they still think the calculator doesn't work if they don't have the ability to put in a fraction in that calculator. Kids can't, they're struggling. There's a lot. They can't do it. They can't write sentences. Their handwriting is atrocious. Not just cursive. I'm talking print. Their printing is atrocious. We're talking 11th and 12th graders, and whereas you might have had a few kids several years ago that you couldn't really read their writing, there's a lot of them you cannot read their writing. And it's not just boys versus girls, where it used to be more guys because they just didn't care. It is both. They can't write because we don't make them write like they used to. They don't know how to research because all they have to do is look something up and Google gives them a summary of it in AI right now. They don't have to do any math because AI, again, does it for them. The majority of their schooling is done online, so basically the computer does the majority of their schooling for them. And don't get on to me about the fact that these kids are doing the majority of their work on computer because we set the system up. And by we, I don't mean just me. I mean you too. How many of you as parents see your kids get really high marks on daily work and yet they fail their tests? How do you think that happens? Do you really think their daily work is not aligned with the work on their test? Because I promise you it is. It has to be. How many of you have kids that say, oh, the teacher just hasn't put that grade in yet? Like on repeat. Really? You think we don't do anything? We never grade? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. There's a lot of reason where that has kind of slowed down some, or a necessity for, instead of handwritten work, to do more computer-based work. But some of that is we don't have the time anymore, i.e. we get too many emails from both admin, students, and parents. So we're constantly being a secretary as well as the roles of a teacher. I see kids who just don't have skills. And ultimately, well, there's a lot of reasons we can back this up and go very far into it. But ultimately, we gave our kids calculators way too young. We gave our kids computers way too young. We stopped watching them do their homework. And it's not like when we were kids and we had to do homework and it was all written out. Theirs is all online. The majority of it is anyway. It's rare. And if they do have something that's not online, I'm guessing it's fill in the blank or matching or true false. There's not a lot of writing to it. And there's not a lot of evaluation. They can still take a picture with their device and get the answer super quick. That is how adept AI is at doing homework. So when you see these discrepancies, I want you to think back on how we set this up. And we're going to go a little further into it. But that's one of the big ones. We gave them technology way too young. We would not hand a 5-year-old a driver's license because we know they can't drive a car. We know they don't have the reasoning skills. We know that they would struggle, right? They can't adapt. They can't assimilate. They're not ready. They're not emotionally mature enough to handle it if somebody cuts them off on the road. So why do we hand these young kids computers and ask them to make decisions about their long-term knowledge and their ability to problem solve, or just finish it in 30 seconds and go play?